Well, I gotta get out of this demo, but timing for this is gonna start and gaining control, so I gotta start the game and then I'll count down to the moment it starts. Alright. 3, 2, 1, start. Alright, hello everyone. My name's Stump, and this is going to be Crash 2 100%.
And I'm Ski Craze Teddy. I am familiar with Crash games, and I'm going to be helping out with commentary. And we're going to have a good fun time.
Yep. So for 100%, I have to get every crystal, every gem, and every warp world entrance in the game. And the crystals come from just getting through the levels. Gems from either breaking all the boxes or doing some special task or side path. And then the warp world entrances we'll get to. But back there I did a glitch high jump to get to the red gem. Normally I would have to take a warp world entrance into this level to get that.
Also of note, you see Stump has 2 masks right now. With the exception of one level, you do not want to get invincibility anywhere in the run in Crash Bandicoot 2, because for whatever reason, it changes the speed of Crash sliding, of Crash running, of Crash doing all kinds of things, and it makes you slower.
Right, the speed movement technique I'm doing, neutral slide spinning, is not faster when you have third mask form. And there isn't anything that's similarly fast in third mask form. So third mask form is generally something to be avoided in Crash 2. Now, this level has the blue gem in it. And the special thing I have to do to get that is to get all the way to the end without breaking any boxes at all. Because of that, I may as well talk a little about neutral slide spinning. The way that that works, and the reason it's called that, is that it's done by spinning at the end of a slide after having let go of the directional button you're using to move. This keeps your slide speed while still running the slide cooldown timer, thus letting you pretty much continuously move at slide speed. If you only did repeated sliding, the cooldown would cause it to be slower than walking. And now that we have that, we can go back through the level and actually break all the boxes to get the clear gem. That includes the side path down here. That green switch blew all the nitros in the level up, which in this case was only the ones back there in the side path. Oh! Oops. Yeah, that wasn't too much time. And the boxes in the bonus area do count. this actually comes into play for a duplication glitch that we're going to be doing in a level in the 4th warp room. But I'll say more about that when we get to it.
You can do the duplicate. Should we explain that now or later?
Yeah, when we get to it.
Okay.
Being able to jump out of these with the glitch high jump is, in many of these, something you can only do on PAL because you jump a little bit higher. And now we're going to go into one of the boulder levels. We can't bring masks into here. The game takes them away.
I guess we should maybe, I guess I'll point out that the level order in Crash games, or at least how in Crash 2 and in Crash 3, and in any Crash game that has the typical warp room setup, you have 5 levels, and then after you obtain the crystal from the 5 levels, you unlock the boss of the warp room. And you can do those 5 levels in any order. So levels 1 through 5, you can do them in any order, and then 5 through 10 similarly as well. But you have to beat the first 5 levels before you unlock the next 5. And any sort of route that Stump will be doing, or that I'll be doing in my Crash 3 105% run, will be for any purposes you can think of. You know, routing masks through certain levels, cutting down on time spent in the warp room, you know, just things like that. It'll just make sense when you see the level order.
Oh.
Ooh. Save it.
Yeah, those suspended bouncy boxes are a very annoying thing, especially when you miss your slide to immediately break them rather than bouncing on them the required number of times. Also, back in the previous boulder area, I hung back a little bit to let the boulder break some nitros. That's because they have to break on screen to count, and this level has no green switch.
This game also has box breaking physics are a very big part of this game. They differ slightly across each Crash game, but one example of something that you can do, which Stump did in the bonus, is if you slide and then very immediately press the jump button while on a horizontal row of crates, you will break the crates with your slide and be able to get a jump out of it, which is very useful in some instances for breaking some, you know, bouncy boxes and such like that. And
yeah, the side task for this level is to get to the end before this timer runs out. That gets me an extra clear gem. Thanks to neutral slide spinning, that's going to be no problem.
I think you can fit the bonus in there too if they're really good. I'm not sure if that's a
Not
thing.
on this level.
Oh.
It's plant food you're thinking of.
Yeah.
I'm bypassing that checkpoint because the blue gem path would be too much of a detour for me to be able to get the timer gem here. But there are boxes on it. So we're going to death warp back to that checkpoint. And then break the rest of the boxes on the level. Now, every TNT has a hard-coded list of boxes that it will break if it explodes far enough off screen that the usual logic doesn't apply. Unless the TNT broke the bouncy box that was so far off the ground there.
This game has some levels that you will see the repeating theme of again too. So like, this is like a river creek level. There's, I believe, 3 of them in the game. And you'll be seeing like another level in this warp room that looks very similar to Turtle Woods. Oh my god. That was close.
Yeah, those 2 mines are a little bit more difficult to pass than other combinations of them in other ones of these levels. Alright, that's better.
There's no way to reach those plants in that platform over there, as far as I'm aware, unless you do some sort of tasks, glitches, things that, as far as I'm aware, no human on a controller has ever done and gotten over to those platforms where those plants are. It's just decoration, and I guess that's what it is, right?
Right. Oh. Wasn't lined up right with that. And this is going to be the last level of Warp 1 that we do. This level introduces a branching path and the requirement to backtrack down one of the sides.
Another thing that you might have seen so far in this run is what's called the glitch high jump, which is where you slide, perform a jump, and then you spin in the middle of your jump. Or you spin immediately after you jump, and that gives you extra added height. In addition to that, it also allows you to body slam, which you normally cannot do when you're in the slide jump animation, but because you do the spin immediately after a slide jump, it thinks, oh, well, you're just like normal jumping, and you're able to do a body slam. And that's how he was able to get the red gem early on in the run.
That's how I also am able to get out of some of the pits here.
And of course, lives shouldn't matter or Wumpa Fruit, so we skip them because it's fast.
Ooh, I was close to flipping through there, which would not have been good. This is probably the most involved bonus in the first warp room. I'm trying to get a little bit of extra distance on those jumps by zigzagging. That works because the forward component of diagonal speed is slightly faster than straightforward speed. But now that we've completed the first 5 levels, it's time for our first boss, Ripperoo. And this boss fight is pretty much an auto-scroller. Ripperoo will do exactly the same thing every single time. I just have to wait through 3 cycles of this. I slide against Ripperoo to deliver the hit at the earliest possible time. Now we have a new set of 5 levels. And we're gonna start with Barrett. This is one of 3.5 bear levels in the game. The bear continuously moves forward, so don't miss anything.
This level also has some of the funniest death animations in the game.
Hopefully we won't see them. But it does.
All Crash games have hilarious death animations. And it's very, very nice touch to the games. But it also costs a lot of time watching shoes fly out of the ground.
That one's RNG.
Yes, that is RNG. You have about a 20% chance when you fall into a pit or a hole, and you essentially die falling to your death. You have about a 20% chance of Crash's shoes just flying up out of the air.
Missed one of the boxes, so I have to death warp and try again, but there's one of the death animations that I like in this level. This set of 3 boxes is probably the most annoying part of any of the bear levels in this game. There we go.
In the Japanese version of the game, you have to bounce on that polar bear standing by the entrance 10 times as part of 100%.
It actually does count as a percent on that version. Now in this level, the electric barriers you see there are high enough that you can neutral slide spin under them. This will not be the case when we see them again in the remaining boulder level, Unbearable. For some definition of boulder level, at least. And here again, we have to make sure that these nitros are on screen when the boulder hits them so that they count. Normally that clears the nitro.
He's also memorized the backward stages. He knows where to slide spin and knows where to slide jump. It's impressive looking.
You can get so far ahead of the boulder in this one. You can barely even see that it's still there. This is our first sewer level. It also contains our next colored gem. And that's behind this fake wall here. That was an intentional hit to get me closer to being able to death warp at the end here. Oh, didn't mean to bounce on the rat there. So instead I have to die in that. But now I got the game gem.
As you die. The nitro switch box won't break that box. You have to break it manually. If anybody's familiar with Crash Team Racing, these sewer levels are the inspiration for the track Sewer Speedway in that game.
That's better. And there tend to be branching paths in sewer levels, but for this one, the left one only has the crystal and some boxes. Also, being able to... I should have gone for the nitro. Being able to break 4 columns with one body slam is PAL specific because the body slam hitbox is larger. Gotta wait for that. You may have noticed that Crash moved a little bit slowly across that stuff. That's one of the few types of movement where third mask form gets you going faster. So hopefully in a later sewer level we'll be seeing that. And here we have a red gem path. This only really exists to have more boxes on it. It doesn't have a gem of its own.
Oh, no spin jump on top of the TNTs?
They explode anyway.
It's frames faster, I believe, if you take the opportunity to spin jump on TNTs in many instances, because you have less time in the air and you can more quickly go and slide spin. It's also more fun, but it's risky.
And we have one more level in this warp room. This level actually is the only one that we have to enter twice, because we can't get the box gem this time.
So, Stump, what's your PB in this game?
It's 134. I'm not going to get that checkpoint because we have to death warp back to the previous one. I'm doing this death route for the gem that's in it. For that platform to be there, I had to get to it without dying. Let's see if I can get a quicker death here by clipping through that, but it didn't work. But now that we have that, we can use the warp world exit here. There are 5 of these in the game, and I have to get all of these because they count as 1% each. This is intended to be the way that you get the red gem from Snowgo, but we didn't need to do that, so we'll exit the level. And that means now it's time for the second boss. the Komodo brothers. The way this works is Komodo makes Komodo Joe spin around the arena, eventually stops. You spin him into Komodo Mo, then he throws knives at you. Repeat twice more. Wrong side. And the first level we'll do in Warp Room 3 is a type of level we haven't seen before, a ruin level. This one also has an alternate entrance from the Warp World, but thanks to glitch high jumping, we don't need to do that.
Sorry.
Because I died backtracking into the alternate entrance, the Death Route platform isn't there, but we don't need it. You can see the end of the Death Route over there.
Oh.
Didn't quite make it. There we go. Didn't make it back, but we got the gem, and that's the important part. Nice. I was having some trouble with that jump in my last round of practice, so it's good to get that first try. Plant food is the last river level. Sometimes this game likes to drop inputs. That's what happened there. be extra sure that I get the timer gem, I'm going to take a death there in the bonus. That causes the timer to disappear, but invisibly it's still running, and it reset to its original value. And by avoiding those, I have a mask to get past here without having to go forward and backtrack. And that'll get me this yellow gem. Now I have to death warp and get to the end again to get the box gem. Now that we have the yellow gem, we can do sewer later, which has a yellow gem path in it. The only thing we need from this is the gem, which is right there. There are no boxes in that. Sometimes if the nitros hop with the right timing, they can kick the box above them much higher into the air than usual, and that can cause really bad things to happen. With the right positioning, you can jump right through that. There's the PAL Body Slam hitbox in action again. I took a hit there so that this mask box would not give me third mask form. And also because it would be terrible to have to wait for that guy.
Nice.
Now, when we were doing the bear levels, I said that there were 3.5 bear levels in the game. This one's the half. It really is a boulder level, but with bears. That would have been off screen by the time the bear got to it. Now, those electric barriers are a little bit lower in this than they were in Crash Dash. So I actually have to make sure I'm on the slide part of the neutral slide spin when I go under it. Also, there's a hidden area under that pit. I death warped there to speed up the process of the pit being opened. The bear would have to catch up to you for that. Not far enough forward. There's the side path. That's sort of important. I didn't quite make that. So instead I'll go this way. A couple more bear chases and we're done. And here's why I say this is half of a bear level. And I'm going to go back up that path there because there is a warp world entrance. That will lead us to one of the two extra levels that's accessible from the warp world. This one's also a bear level.
Ooh.
I've never died there before. Oh, one of those boxes in that stack of 4 didn't break. That's something that sometimes happens too. There we go. Now everything broke that should.
okay, you got this.
Thanks. All the boxes didn't break. Pushed hard left. That should make it. Now that that level's finally done, the one from this warp room that remains is the last of the bear levels. In this category, this is the bear level that I feel is easiest, but I probably shouldn't have said that, because who knows what'll happen now. We still have one more level that we gotta, one more thing we gotta do before the boss here. We have to make our revisit to Air Crash. This is because, unlike the other alternate entrances, there's no way to get into this one from the main part of the level. So you have to actually use it.
How?
Sometimes I've seen that happen. Here we're going to do a damage boost to get up here and break those boxes. If it wasn't for that, we'd have to do jumps up to forward and before getting on the board and then back. But now we're ready for the third boss. This boss is where the main impact of RNG on this run is. But I got phase 1 that didn't lose any time because I was able to get Tiny to jump over a platform that was dropping.
You can also, if you like to go for swag, slide in between the two platforms, in between all the platforms, without jumping. Stump is not going to demonstrate it because it's very unsafe and very silly. But yeah, instead of jumping, you can slide between platforms. It's RNG.
The third phase is the trickiest because only one platform drops at a time. And if it's a corner, I did not feel like I should have made that, but I did, and that's what's important. If the platform that drops is in a corner, pretty much the only choice you have is if you have Tiny right next to it. Alright, for Weapon 4, we'll start with Ruination. One of the common features of this level is box arrangements that are similar to ones from Road to Ruin, but with nitros mixed in.
I think the developers thought it'd be really funny to make those boxes right there, see you break it. Or actually, he wasn't breaking it, but that switch box, when it activates those crates, it turns them all into nitros, like immediately. And in the first Ruination level, they had the same box formation, only it turned them into regular crates.
The green switch will still explode them even if you haven't made them solid.
That's true. I think the developers thought it might be funny to display the same box formation but hide nitros in there to mess people up.
And now that we got that, we can continue through the main part of the level.
Are you gonna do the platform jump?
I don't think so. Since I have 2 masks now, I'm gonna do hanging out. I bring 2 masks into here because the one place where I actually do want 3rd mask form is in here, but there are no other mask boxes before the one that would give me the one that I want. Well, there goes that. All of those exploded. Under some conditions, one of the non-TNTs will not explode, but that did not happen there. This is the other Warp World specific level. It's a counterpart to a level Night Fight that's in the 5th Warp Room.
Good bonus.
Yeah, it was. Here's the tough part of this level. These body slam boxes. If you take the time to break all of them with the Firefly, it won't last long enough. So you gotta go ahead in the dark and break them. And now here is Cold Hard Crash, the last snow level. This is the one where we are going to be doing the box duplication glitch. So I start by breaking all the boxes from here to the death route, except for the checkpoint. I'm going to skip the bonus for now because that's the key part of the duplication. And we'll go into the death route and then back out of it. And now we'll go back and do the bonus. Now, the boxes from the bonus are counting down into my total, but if I die, they'll continue doing so, without resetting the total. Every box that I broke outside of the bonus is now duplicated. And as long as I can get to a checkpoint, then those boxes will stay even after even if I were to die. But duplicating those boxes keeps me from having to do a lengthy backtrack in the death route. There are boxes in both the death route and the main part of the level. And the death route has some outline boxes that are filled in by an exclamation point box at the very end. So you have to hit that and go back through this. Also, we don't really need to get those two boxes that are above the that bouncy box.
There's a mask up there, though, so you might want to grab it.
I know that. Sure. Sliding and body slamming are the same button. The only difference is whether you're in the air. Alright, 151 boxes is what I am expecting to have there due to the duplication. But we need to hit exactly the right number of boxes for the box gem to spawn. We can't go over. That's why I left that box there. And we have broken all 155 out of 155 boxes.
Nice.
By spinning as I was landing on that explosion, I prevented the explosion from hitting me. There, I spun too early, but we don't really need that mask. To prevent a similar effect from happening, I waited for the box count from the bonus to tick down to 0, just in case something bad happens between here and the next checkpoint. This level is where we're introduced to the bees. We only have to deal with them one at a time in this level. But each beehive has a set zone in which the bees will chase you. And there are boxes in the death route, so I gotta backtrack into it. This is the last of the Warp World entrances. This is intended to be used to get the box gem from Road to Ruin, but we already did that. So instead I'm going to go into Totally Fly and then exit level. That'll spawn me back in the 4th warp room rather than the 3rd. Where all that's left is the level Behaving. Here, there are a lot more bees. And they move faster. Yeah, that's another way to break that box. When you're underground, the game
Huh?
Alright, what happened there is I must have broken that box at the same moment that a bee spawned from the beehive. That can sometimes cause a bee to appear in the box.
This chat is awful right now.
Yeah, that nitro staircase actually has a warp to a side path in the top of it. But there's only one thing we're going in there for, and we'll be death warping out, so I'm going to go forward to the checkpoint and come back to that warp. And that's the purple gem. There's a lot more to that side path, but there's no use in doing it because there are no boxes, and it spawns you earlier in the level than the nitro staircase is. That was a bad nitro hop.
Put it in sub-only mode.
Alright, I spun one of the bees into the green switch, which is what I was hoping to do.
Hi, Parabex, how are you?
Here's boss number 4, Engine. There are 3 phases to this fight. Here I gotta hit the hands when they're open 10 times each. Careful not to break that one too early. I'm trying to break the hands during this attack. Now the shoulders take 5 each. Alright. Alright, I stopped firing there because I knew that I have each one away from breaking. And if I don't break them during that attack or close enough to at the same time, that'll reset the animation that he's doing. And that would waste time.
Master Cortex will be very displeased with your resistance. Prepare to suffer his wrath.
But this leaves us with only 5 more levels. Including both of the jetpack levels. These have a PAL-specific skip in them that is really nice. It's possible to skip where you are put onto the jetpack. But, and you can get through the level. And you even get warped forward at the end, which is quite helpful. But you risk crashing the game if you do even the slightest thing wrong. So I don't do that. Here's the PAL-specific skip. You can just push forward after delivering the first hit to one of those enemies. And you get past. That field at the end isn't actually there. Spaced Out is one of 2 piston levels that we'll see. The thing that's special about Spaced Out is that it contains a gem path that requires all 5 gems.
Were you asking me? Yeah, chat, what's your favorite Crash game? Good idea.
The size of those platforms will kill you.
Hey chat, who is your favorite Crash Bandicoot speedrunner? Yeah, Stump's a chill Crash runner. I'm also a Crash speedrunner. Good username, high quality ship toasting.
Now in these areas where you have glass in front of you, when you get to one of these shield enemies, you can bounce off of them onto the top of it.
I get a hot sub-only mode on the chat, please?
Isn't that something we just say? I know. Even if there's no headcrab, we still say it. Yeah. That's why we need the headcrab ban right now.
There's a death route in this level, so I gotta... a little more careful than usual. Yeah, death in the bonus doesn't count towards that, though.
Dude, my favorite anime is Pokemon. Dude, my favorite anime is Rick and Morty. Yeah. See, you're just not smart enough to realize that Rick and Morty is an anime because you've never seen it before. You want to go on the bonus platform to save it, or no?
That'll be alright.
Okay. That's one thing you can do. As soon as you step on a death route platform, it saves the platform from turning into a outline, and you're able to visit it.
Alright, safely in the death round.
Hey chat, what's your favorite food? Mine is spaghetti. Can I get a ban on head crab? I like how I ask a wholesome question and chat makes it terrible. Okay, chat, what's your favorite movie? Mine is Sausage Party. I don't think Cory in the House is a movie. Look at the commentator fishing for the answers to everyone's security questions.
Alright, no phantom explosions from that stack with nitros in it.
Wait, wasn't there a gym back there?
Already got it.
See, I'm not paying attention. I'm too busy looking at chat.
Only one level separates us from the final boss now, and that would be Rocket, the first jetpack level.
Oh, that's a thing you can do, by the way. So when he went to make the slide, if you do a frame-perfect slide while you're holding forward and you don't have control yet, but you gain control, you'll do a backwards slide. Because Crash is facing forwards for like 1 frame. Hey, Sad Fabs, what's up? Yeah. You would love Crash 3 then? Because in Crash 3, if you like you know, sounds in the game, you have to disable the sound effects in the menu options to 0%, so that way it skips cutscenes. And I'm doing that in my run. Yeah.
Like, an example of a television show that has really good sound design is Star Trek.
Oh, I haven't seen
That's
it.
fine, like the doors open,
Mhm.
little ringing noise on the communicators.
Just making sure I actually do have everything, which I do. The final boss fight counts for the final 3%. It's probably one of the most anticlimactic fights in any Crash game. And time will be when I deliver the third hit. Here's number 2. Get ready.
Get ready on time.
And time.
You haven't seen the last of me, Crash Bandicoot!
Oh, that's Crash 2 100%.
Crash, what do you suppose happened to Cortex? And what about the Cortex Vortex? It's still up there.